philosophies that I live off of is you're going to die, Tobiah. That's inevitable.
Yeah.
And you don't know when it's going to happen. So you can't take no days for granted. And you have to give everything that you have, no matter how tired you are, exhausted, mentally drained. That doesn't matter because it's not about you. That philosophy allows me to understand that I have to show up for this business every single day.
That is an amazing philosophy mindset. How old are you?
35.
Rocker is his last name, which is very fitting because Tobiah Rocker is indeed a superstar. I got a chance to sit with him so he could share his secrets about his principle-based successes, his past failures, and his perpetual learning. Now, if you're seeking a life of abundance and feel that you've tried many things and yet haven't cracked it, you just haven't gotten that break yet, this conversation is for you. But don't just follow the show. Please share this episode with at least one friend. I guarantee you there is someone you know who could use this recipe for success. Knowing there's something else and they just aren't fulfilling that purpose. Today, Tobiah Rocker speaks of that purpose. He shares his principles, his ideologies, and the secrets that have made him successful and continue to elevate his company. Thank you, family, for pressing play on this enlightening episode. I'm glad you did, and you will be too. Welcome to Manhood Matters. Let's get to it.
In the living room, finds his voice. 4 souls gathered, making a choice. Speak of life's great news, sugar to cope. From a black man's lens, teach you where the keynote. Mental storms, physical strife, hustling hard, the pulse of life, race love. And the entrepreneurs climb real tall echoes of fine time. Experts and friends, powerful blend.
Tobiah Rocker.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show, brother.
My man.
Glad you're here.
Appreciate you having me.
Of course. Anytime I do these, whenever there's someone that I kind of admire, look up to, I always feel funny saying this because you're a lot younger than I am, and I say I look up to you, but I don't look at the age. I look at the accomplishments. I look at the body of work, and I think you've done some amazing things. I've only met you once, but I heard you speak at an event.
Appreciate it.
And I thought you were impressive.
Thank you.
So now we're going to go back to the roadmap that got you from where you started to where you are today. So
It has always kind of started like years ago, like when I was probably in middle school. And my first kind of business that I kind of took on is like I had a neighbor and he was an old man. And he had a lawnmower in his garage and he always kept his garage open, but he never used it. So one day I kind of seen my grandpa, we cut this yard and it kind of inspired me like, oh, I'm going to cut some grass. And this is like when I was, probably 7, 8, something like that. So I went next door, jumped the gate, took my neighbor's lawnmower and gas can and snuck it on the side of his house. And I just knocked on my neighbor's doors and told them I'll cut their grass. And when they asked me how much they'd do it, I'll do it for. Being a kid, I was like $10, $8,
right.
Whatever. So the thing is, it only took me time. So I cut probably 5 people's yard on my street for $10. And then I made $50 and I ran out of gas. I had to kind of ask somebody, what should I do? And then I got on my bike, went up to the street, got some gas, rode it back, spilt it all over myself. It was just like an experience of starting something. So from there, I've always had and started businesses in regards to my access. When I was a kid, I was just doing it to what I can do. So it was another situation once I got into middle school. I had a particular guy, his name was Brown Gravy, and he was a crackhead, but he had a car.
Okay.
And Brown Gravy, if I give him, $5 or whatever, $10, he'll drive me wherever as long as, he can put gas in the car.
Yeah.
And he had like this old little van, but it fit like 5, 7 people. So my school gave us these jump rope for heart envelopes, and they gave us some shirts, and they told us to go home and get donations for this jump rope for heart. They gave me an envelope. I went into my neighborhood, got a lot of money, took it back, gave it to my teacher, and I kind of found out that my teacher she kind of kept the money. Oh, so I found the envelopes in the booklets of Jump Rope for Heart, and I took probably 20 of them, and then I got about 7 of my homeboys that I played sports with, and we all piled up in this crackhead's car.
Brown gravy.
And we went to this particular neighborhood, just raise money from, hey, the middle school, the jump rope for heart.
Yeah.
And they donate. And then we kind of just
kept
the money. But the way that I did it, I gave them $20, $50, but I kept the remaining from everybody that was in the van.
You gave them a commission.
I gave them a commission.
Yeah.
So,
because they didn't know what the business plan was.
Absolutely. Okay. So it was just more of me seeing what my teacher did, because I was like, oh no, I'm turning this money in. But once I seen that, I was like, well, if she gonna keep it, I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah. And
it kind of took me to another position where I start buying these boxes of candy from this wholesaler. And it was like peanut brittle and gummy bears, and it was in a luxury little box. So I went to Walmart, got some tubs, filled up these like 15 containers with candy, and those my same friends that we did the jump rope for heart with, we just took these tubs and then we sold candy in high prestigious area. So I sold it for like something that cost me $1, I sold it for $10.
Yeah.
You know, I just made my margins.
And you're how old at that point?
I was in the 7th grade.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's just like I've always kind of typically been this way.
You were destined to be, well, not to be, you were an entrepreneur back then, and you were destined to never work with anybody else.
Period.
That's
because
crazy.
My mom, she was never able to afford school clothes and shoes, and we wanted the Jordans. We wanted we wanted to be super fresh, but my mom being a single mom, having me and my sister, she could only do so much.
Right.
So for me, I wanted a lot. So, and plus I didn't want to take from my mom either. I knew it was my responsibility to kind of do what I had to do. So me being in that kind of entrepreneur space and me making my own money, I never looked at my mom to give it to me. So I've always tried to do something to make my own money so I didn't have to ask anybody if I wanted to eat, if I wanted to buy some clothes, if I wanted to go on a field trip that costs $30. And I wasn't able to go on a few field trips because my mom wasn't in a position. So that was the main reason why I took my neighbor's lawnmower and cut those yards.
Yeah.
Because it was a field trip and it cost like $30. That was my reason. Like, oh, if she doesn't have it, I'm just going to go make it myself. So it just spiraled into like my adulthood. And
I got to jump in because it's such an interesting story, because a lot of people could have made a sharp left turn into something that would have landed you in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Taking your life in a very different direction. I always look at guys who ended up, I don't know, whether it's selling drugs, whether it's weapons, whether it's whatever it is, things that kind of lend you, a lifetime of imprisonment.
Yeah.
And I look at those guys and they're business savvy entrepreneurs. They just picked the wrong vehicle.
The wrong product, yeah.
What was it that kept your moral compass in check so that, I'm going to play in the gray area a little bit, right? I'm going to raise money where I'm not going to give it out. But then look at the example I was given. And at that point, you're in middle school.
Yeah.
But what was that thing that kept you from taking that sharp left turn?
The thing is, I had a cousin that got shot in the head for breaking into a vehicle, and he was the only one that got killed, and it was 4 of them. I've played in that world. We used to break into houses. We used to, that was our environment. We called it kick door. So it's just like you would go into a neighborhood, kick a door in, and just take as much stuff as you want and get out of there. Because culturally, if you're in a neighborhood and you have friends and buddies and people that you look up to that move in that frequency, it doesn't seem too criminal. It just seems like, oh, this is what everybody's doing to make money, because you are a product of your environment. So for me, I've been on that side of the track, and I was blessed to not go with my cousin that night, and who's to say that could have been me. So that was a pivoting point of seeing how serious this is.
Yeah.
So I was able to pivot through an experience of, I was supposed to go with them and I didn't. And that took place. So it allowed me to pivot. I don't want to die just because I'm breaking in. We were kids. We were stealing things that wasn't even valuable, So it's just like, that's what allowed me to pivot and take my friends and go sell candy and go do jump rope for heart, because I just lost a family member from doing this particular thing. And I had common sense at that age. So that's what made me really pivot in the space of staying in the gray area, but it's better than selling crack with my friends or breaking into houses. So
Gotcha. So those are the early days. And where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. My dad, he's from Atlanta, and my mom's from Oklahoma.
Okay.
So me and my sister have always been back and forth from Atlanta and Oklahoma my whole entire life. So we have like a country perspective and we have a city perspective. So we kind of always bounce back and forth in those realities. But being raised in Oklahoma, it's just a country town. A lot of gang banging, but there was a lot of wealth building due to Black Wall Street and things like that. So it's a balance of the opportunity, what it used to be, and just where it is now. So growing up in Oklahoma, you don't have, especially after Black Wall Street, you don't have too many political or entrepreneurs that's Black, that's successful like you have in Atlanta. So you typically are still around a frequency that still resonates from that Black Wall Street era. So being a Black man in Oklahoma, starting a business is pretty difficult because you don't have the support you would have in like in Atlanta. Like here in Atlanta, people want to support Black. They want to work Black. In Oklahoma, it's a little bit of the opposite. They would rather work with a white organization just simply because that's just what has been programmed for our culture, because there's no successful Black companies. So if you're so used to going to predominantly white schools, being around predominantly white people, being around all successful white businesses, anytime a Black business arrives, you have to kind of go through a lot of trial and error to make your stamp.
Interesting.
I used to have such a racist perspective against white people because I didn't understand them and they didn't understand me. So me going through the journey of living in Oklahoma, I developed white friends. I developed, white families that I was very, very close and strong with. So it allowed me to kind of understand, like, white people are not too much racist. They just don't understand us. And what is portrayed in our culture, they only see us gang-banging, violent, crazy, over-sexualized due to the media and content and things like that. So they can't help but to think a certain way. So as you connect with them and you show them a different light of education, intelligence, and things like that, it allows them to get a better understanding. So for me, I took that data, and once I got into industries where I had to start dealing with white people, when I got into the roofing space, the only prestigious areas in Oklahoma are predominantly white. I had to close my own deals. I didn't start with a roofing company. I didn't start, with anything like that. So through my lessons of life, it allowed me to know how to close a white gentleman, an Asian, Indian, whoever it is, just due to my journey of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Not to stray too much from the topic at hand here, but to push back a little bit, I think there's an aperture through which they choose to view us sometimes, where I think if not given a choice, the choices are there. I think sometimes if it's more convenient for them to look through this lens as opposed to this other lens,
For sure.
because it bothers me sometimes when I feel like I have to perform, right? I don't have to, the way I am now, the way you are, still where we are. Sure, we can cut up a little bit more. We can relax. We can use more colloquialism when we're talking to each other. There's so much we definitely can do. We can relax. Just like any ethnicity, when they're at home and they're comfortable and they're around their folks, there's a certain way they communicate, which you don't do with the outside world all the time.
Sure.
I've heard so much of, they won't say it to me that way, but it's like, oh, we like you. You're a little bit different.
Most deaf.
You don't sound like the other guys.
You don't act like
You don't act like that. Why can't they all be like you?
For sure.
Stuff like that. So that always kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I know exactly what you're saying when you say you had to learn to deal with them, and this is the way it is. Because, yes, overall, I don't think people wake up and choose to be racist. If it benefits you, if it's convenient, you continue, even though you realize it's probably not the best way to be.
Yeah.
But if it's convenient for me and it helps me and it puts more money in my pocket and keeps me in a situation where I have more advantages as opposed to the next person, I'll take it.
Absolutely.
Right? You mentioned one pretty traumatic experience that you had that kind of changed and kind of shaped you a little bit? Were there others?
Tulsa, Oklahoma has a full season of First 48.
Golly.
We're extremely small demographic. When the First 48 comes to a particular city, it's Chicago, it's Atlanta, it's Florida,
Memphis.
You know, it's somewhere that's pretty big.
Yeah.
So for us to be able to make it on the First 48, it gives you a perspective of like,
It's a lot of crime.
it's extremely a lot
Per
of
capita,
crime.
it's just
And
not-
it's extremely small. It's a neighborhood just full of, you know, murder, deaths, killings. It's senseless. So
They have succeeded.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I think about the pillar and what Tulsa represents to us as a community, the thriving community that it was, and that was crushed and burned down, bombed to death, just massacred. And when we look at what it is today, the only phrase that comes to mind is, damn, they have succeeded.
Yeah, they play a longer game than anybody. So with that, and even when I just think about Black Wall Street, like I have family members who had businesses doing Black Wall Street. So people have to understand, when you look at Pepsi and Coca-Cola and Bank of America and all of these high prestigious 500 corporations, these are the businesses that we would have to this day. We will be the Coca-Colas. We will be the Bank of Americas and things like that, because these business and these corporations started 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And it just been able to continue.
Exactly.
So those bakeries, those bread manufacturers, Starbucks, coffee shops, all of these Fortune 500 companies, that would have been a reflection of the companies and businesses that started then. So they understand that. And that's why the agenda was that, because that's economic empowerment. And if a lot of blacks catch on to this particular way of economic stimulation, then it jeopardizes our bloodline. So for that, always knowing that being in a predominantly area that was successful with, you know, blacks and things like that, and to see it now, like, yeah, you look at it like, yeah, they definitely accomplished what they sought out to do. But also it's the resilience of what we have to be in order to even have enough mental fortitude to push towards entrepreneurship, seeing that everything that we typically work from, they take it away. So for me, I couldn't fall in a category because I have a lot of black men that was around me that always pointed the finger at the system and the man and all of these things, but they never did anything through their everyday life to exceed and to position their families to be in a better position, because they're so fixated on what somebody did to them. And I didn't want to fall under that category. It's like, yeah, you guys are extremely knowledgeable about what the man is doing and what the system is doing, but you guys are still getting assistance from the man. You guys are still using the programs that they're, you know, going to the liquor store.
You're part of the system.
You're part of the system. So you can speak about this as much as you want, but what are we going to do? So for
it's okay to be transitional in that phase, meaning it's okay to be part of the system if there's a plan and you're working towards that plan.
Yeah.
Right? If you're born into it, what do? Right? This is just what it is. But like you decided at some point, you were practically a baby when you said, this is not right. There's something I want to do about it.
For sure.
And then decided to do something about it.
Absolutely, man. My environment has molded me to be this thing that I am today. I'm just trying to take my today and move it forward to better my future family and my future bloodline, because it has to start with somebody. Everyone has that one person in their family that changes the trajectory of everybody's life. That's why I have such a forward mindset. I've been able to have these blinders took off my eyes to see things for what they really are. So now it allows me to get out of this victimizing mentality, because we can find ourselves being exactly there, and just saying, okay, what can I do today to move forward? Yeah. And I only have control over what I have control over.
Control the controllables. The noise is going to be there no matter what.
Point blank.
Ignore the noise. focus on your solution, focus on your why, focus on what you're trying to achieve, because the noise is going to keep coming at you.
Point blank.
And granted, obviously, there is a system in place that doesn't favor you, doesn't favor me. It exists. So yes, the battle is something you have to go through, but you just have to decide that you're going to go through it and understand that it's going to be a little harder for you than it is for someone else.
Absolutely.
So with that said, how did you start your business and why? What's the name of the business?
The business is Roof Bullies.
So it's a roofing company.
Roofing and construction.
Roofing and construction, gotcha.
Restoration.
Okay.
So I had a pastor, and I was doing like remodels and things like that in Oklahoma. There's a particular church in Black Wall Street that's still there. It's one of the original churches from Black Wall Street.
Really?
That I was raised in. Okay. So every 4 or 5 years, they change pastors. And I don't too much understand it, but it's a thing. Like every few years, a pastor will move from a different state, come to a church that they get moved to, and he was just particular one. He was the first pastor that was kind of, in his early 40s. He knew what was going on and things like that. So he was kind of like a young pastor. Mm-hmm. So as we connected, one day I was getting a smoothie, and he came in. He was like, "Yeah, we're replacing the roof on the church, and I see you on Facebook kind of posting this and this. Go ahead and do a bid." So I went ahead and did the bid for the church before even, I had no idea about roofing, just completely lost.
What were you posting if you had no idea about roofing?
So I was posting kitchen remodels,
gotcha.
and flooring, and just I was doing fix and flips, and I had a relationship with a buddy of mine that was a contractor.
Gotcha.
So I didn't understand contracting work. I just understood money. So it's just like, I have a client, he wants a remodel. I go to my buddy, how much you gonna charge me? Redo the floor, just do everything. He'll tell me $5,500 or whatever, and I'll go to my client and be like, I can do it for $8,500.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I didn't understand the elements of contracting. I just understood like brokering, He sent me the bid. He sent me this long email, and it was asking questions, and then it asked for a price point. So I looked at the roof, and I just put $165,000 and submitted it. A week or so went by. I was like, "Hey, did you get it?" He's like, "Yeah, we received it. We just went ahead and went a different route."
Okay.
But he was like, I want to show you. So he came, and the bid who won it was like $360,000. It was a metal roof.
My God! I thought you overbid. I thought you went too high. You went. Oh my goodness! So he couldn't take you seriously.
Continue. That gave them an indication he does not know what he's doing.
Yeah, your quality.
He's done. And plus, I didn't have a roofing company established online, no Google, no nothing. So just like a 2-man in the truck kind of feel. So, but what that did was, in the midst of that, I was going down this rabbit hole of roofing. You get ads once you start clicking on certain roofing, or you click on, it's going to pop all over your algorithm. All over. So I jumped into the roofing algorithm, and then I began to see, it was a conference. It's called RoofCon.
Yeah.
And it was in like a week or something. Mm-hmm. And I was seeing the packages like gold and platinum, and I think the most expensive one was like $4,500. Mm-hmm. And it gave you access and things like that. So I bought the $4,500 gold member ticket. It was in Orlando. So
and when was that?
This was probably 4 years ago.
Okay. So your company's still well established, but relatively new.
Absolutely.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I flew down a day early because I have a buddy that stays in Orlando, and he was like, "What you up here?" I was like, "I got a roofing convention going." He was like, "Roofing convention? Like, you in roofing?" And I was like, I'm thinking about it. Roofing keeps presenting itself, and I kind of explained that too. But I was like, yeah, I want to get a better understanding about it. So I go to this conference. It's called RoofCon. Got a Airbnb because the event was like 3 days.
Yeah.
I stayed there for like 4. So I go to this RoofCon convention, and it's about 4,000 people there.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of amazed to a certain degree because I'm just like, when I got here, in the parking lot is Range Rovers, Raris, Lambos.
Yeah. It's a profitable business.
Huge trucks.
Right.
I mean, trucks was predominantly a big thing. Big dually, big trucks, big wrap trucks. Like, just, this is what you're seeing outside this convention. As I checked in, it was a guy. His name was Woody. He was just like, "Hey, man, what's kind of introduce himself. Yeah, I'm in PDR. He's in dent restoration. So when a hailstorm comes, he's the individuals that will fix the dents out of your car.
Okay.
So he comes to the roofing conventions for a network to connect with other roofers to send him vehicles.
Gotcha.
So that's his game. White guy, you know, if you kind of sit back and look at him, he looks racist, but he's the nicest, sweetest guy.
Because we all know there's that look.
That look.
Yeah, they have the Oakley style, Oakley sunglasses. That's always scary to look at.
I'm just that look. So it's just like,
and they'd be the most cool dudes in the world.
They be the coolest in the world.
Right.
And just like for us, they will see us with dreads.
Yeah.
With probably a scully on.
And just assume
we're just
exactly
vicious. But then when you meet him, it's like, he's the sweetest guy.
Exactly.
So it goes hand in hand.
Sure.
So I'm at the convention. He takes me and he just begins to introduce me to this supplementing company and this roofer and this roofer and this roofer and this roofer and this PA and this guy who teaches sales and this guy who teaches different suppliers. He was introducing me to people. I was just like, what's a PA? So, you know, I mean, why everybody's so big about the suppliers? And, you know, I was just in this world lost, but he's introducing me and I'm adding him on Instagram, Facebook, connecting.
Yeah.
So as I'm going through this convention of 4,000 people, I didn't see one black person that owned a roofing company. It was one black speaker. His name is Deshaun.
I know him.
Yeah. So
Deshaun Bryant.
He was out of all 36 speakers, you know, he was only the black guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of watching him from a distance. Just, I don't want to introduce myself because I like to observe somebody and I know I'm going to be here for 3 days and it allows me to kind of see how he is, how he move, you know, just watching because he's the only black person that's on this panel. So I want, like, what is it that you do? What? So let's
see if you're just there just to bring a little color to it, or do you actually have some substance?
Absolutely. So that's what I'm viewing and seeing from that perspective. So, and then after the event, the last day, they have all these vending booths. So it was probably 65 booths. I went to every single booth, got content, information, contact. And I just came back with the suitcase full of brochures, flyers, softwares, so I can begin to start doing my due diligence on everything. So I'm also going to these retreats and resorts that a lot of roofers were doing. It was this company called Revolt, and it's a whole bunch of roofers, and we go out to cabins, and we all just connect and kind of talk about the industry and it was just retreats, basically.
Gotcha.
So I went to a lot of roofing retreats. I went to a lot of roofing.
You really went all in. You invested.
Listen, man,
You dove in.
I'm not playing.
I've been to RoofCon, and I know roofing companies who don't go, and I don't understand why. As an established roofing company, you don't have to send 10 people. One of the managers, you have to have some type of representation there.
Yeah.
And if they do go, they're spending maybe $300 or $400 for the price of, hey, just entry, but you have access to nothing else.
Absolutely.
And you just went in and threw it all in there.
Because they're stuck in their ways and they're stuck in their processes. People who created these conferences, they're moving more like, kind of social media influencers and bringing community together. For myself, I was able to get a jump start of nothing but value and information and conversations. And like, I talked to close friends of mine to this day that sold their roofing company for $23 million, $46 million, $16 million, $8 million. So
not a bad exit.
Not a bad exit at all. And all they do is go start another LLC and open up another roofing company.
To compete with what they used to do.
So to sell that one.
To sell that one.
So it's just like the conferences changed my life, and it helped me to get years of trial and error to the point of, there's buddies that, I have black friends that's in roofing, but they're not killing it. Right. They haven't been able to go to that next level because of the lack of understanding about insurance and restoration. You guys are only moving off of one vertical when it's dealing with this roofing space. Like, we got water, we got fire, we got wind, we have hail, we have storms, we have those trades that's implemented into the actual restoration process. So I've been in the industry about 4 years, like 3.5 years, but I was learning my first year. Second year, I started storm chasing, going to work for roofing companies, working for months, closing deals, and the person who owned the company ran off to China and stole over $7 million.
Didn't pay anybody.
Huh?
They didn't pay anybody.
Absolutely not. They took all money, restoration, all checks, and moved overseas. So I had experience in this space. Everything is not going to be rainbow. So my experience of, working for restoration companies, storm chasing companies, watching the process of if a hurricane hits Florida, what those steps look like. Okay, once the water ties out, okay, now the electric, okay, okay, you can do this. So let's help feed people, clothe people, put them in apartments. Okay, where's their homes? Okay, do you have a contractor to help facilitate to this? Oh, you need water mitigation. Oh, you need water mapping. You need, wind fenestration. Like, it's a whole world in that restoration space, to the point where I was able to get that information and data and leverage it in the future. I tell people it took me almost 4 years to be this knowledgeable in this space.
Right. And
I went through hell to do it. Being in roofing, you close a deal and then you're expected to get a $85,000 check for some work that you did, and then the client keeps it. And then this client keeps it. And then, you go into, because your systems and processes wasn't structured, you didn't have your contracts structured to the point where if they keep the money, you put a lien on their property and go through that process. And then it's like, oh, you rather not even go through the court thing because that's not your world. That's not what you do.
You haven't learned that.
You have to learn how aggressive you have to be.
Yeah.
So,
and those are things that you learned going through RoofCon, putting yourself in that space, meeting with the right people, because it would have taken you over a decade to learn that stuff on your own. And
more.
Yeah.
I have roofing friends that's been in roofing for 20 years.
Yeah. Don't know this stuff.
And they're like, bro, like, I've helped so many of my buddies make an additional $200,000-$400,000 added on to what they do by just implementing small things to their already established companies. So we are in a space of building a reputation, building notoriety, building, all of these things that you need to, when a person thinks about roofing, they want to pick you. Yeah. So
you want to think about Roof Bullies.
That's it.
Well, it sounds like the business right now is thriving. I've seen you do it. I've kind of watched from afar, and 100% would definitely recommend your company time and time again, just from what I've seen from the outside. Talk to me about your personal philosophies. Some of them you apply to your career, to your business, but how those shape who you are now and affect your priorities.
One, no one is going to save you. That right there allows me to know that I do not wait or depend on anything or anybody for what I want in my life, because everything that I go through, no one's going to care about but me. When it's dealing with my success path, I've always had a mindset of just being resilient in whatever it is that I do, because time has always shown me that whatever industry that you are in, as long as you put the time in, the energy, the focus, if it's not working out, it's because of you. And it's your responsibility to find out and figure out what it is to allow you to be in whatever this position that you visualize and see yourself in.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to prioritize my life outside of what I'm focused on. People always talk about this work-life balance. It's not a work. It's not a life. It's impossible. Yeah. So for me, my philosophies are always based off of knowing that I have to do what needs to be done or it will not happen. And if I don't do what I have to do while I'm on this earth, I am doing a disservice to my family, my future kids, my bloodline, because everything that I complain about, oh, I didn't have nobody to set me up this way. Oh, I didn't have nobody to teach me. Or, oh, I don't want to be a man that speaks of all these things that I complained about growing up. And then now I'm in a position to be the change. I want to be the change. I'm going to be the change. So my focus is always wrapped around, I have to make this work and I have to put our family on the same page. So we're not allowing our generation that's coming up to go through so much turmoil, confusion. It's all it is confusion.
Gotcha.
Our bloodline just don't know what to do. I'm structuring my life that it allows anybody in my family to look at me and be like, I'm going to do any and everything that he says, because the lifestyle that he lives and the way that he moves is a reflection of what I look at as success. When it's dealing with my appearance and my body, my health, how I eat, how I talk, how I articulate, everything. I have to be a reflection of what I want people to move, because if you're fat and lazy, you can't tell me what to eat.
Right.
You can't tell me when to work out. You're a reflection of who you are. You just run in your mouth. The philosophies that I live off of is you're going to die, Tobiah, and that's inevitable.
Yeah.
And you don't know when it's going to happen. So you can't take no days for granted. And you have to give everything that you have, no matter how tired you are, exhausted, mentally drained, overwhelmed. That doesn't matter, because it's not about you. That philosophy allows me to understand that I have to show up for this business every single day.
That is an amazing philosophy mindset. How old are you?
35.
Are you married?
No.
Okay. Dating?
No.
Okay. So
I'm in a relationship with my business to the point where I can't.
don't have time for it.
It ain't that I don't have time for it. It's like, as a man, I want to bring my family into paradise. I want to bring my family into structure. It is my responsibility to create the order in my household. A man that doesn't have his life together or where he wants it to be is a chaotic man. And I don't want to be a chaotic man to a woman, because it's going to affect our relationship. And me being a serial entrepreneur, I'm going to pick my business over any woman that I will ever be with, because I care about my business more than I care about me having somebody to lay with at night or someone to support me or be my companion. It's just a part of my ideology. It's just, I've been in relationships and I've seen how you not picking the right person and not having the right woman can be detrimental to your business and your mental space and your focus. So living in a generation where everyone is pretty much damaged, I'm such a want to help and heal person. That energy that I'm pouring into all your childhood traumas and issues, I'm taking away from my business and my family and my focus. I have enough mental issues with my family. So it's just like me adding that on right now. I had a gentleman years ago. I was probably 20 years old. He said, bro, you don't have to worry about being married until you're at least 40, because even at 40, you have more time in front of you than you've already lived.
Right.
So it's with that mindset. If God has a woman in store for me, she's walking a certain journey and I'm walking a certain journey and we connect, I'm not going to stop what God has for me. I'm not in control of anything. So I can be as intentional as I want to be to try to find somebody, but that may not be my journey. Mm-hmm. This is my journey. Entrepreneurship is my journey.
Right.
Entrepreneurship is my focus, my purpose on this earth. So I have to show up and get that established first before I even entertain and go into that world.
I don't know where your friend was, or that old man who told you what he told you was a long time ago for a lot of us, because we had it backwards. Obviously, you have a lot of friends, family members. You can see most people did it backwards, right? It's you're 20 years old, 21 years old, and you go and have a kid, and you have a second, and then you're in this marriage.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to establish yourself in the business world, and you're struggling, and then you can't struggle in the business world and do what you have to do and give it your all, because you have to take care of these kids and this person. So yes, a lot of us did it backwards because the role model wasn't there, or because simply we didn't have the advice, or just awareness, rather, just to kind of see, hey, this is the way it should be. This is the way I should do it. Some people realize this very early on. You did. But yes, I think I would agree that you wait and you build yourself and you have something that is impenetrable, that is strong, and then you can bring a family into that. And you guys never have to worry about money or anything like that. But what I guess what I want to ask is, what's the point of all of it? And I guess this is more of a sentimental question than anything else, right? Because you're married to your business. But at the end of the day, is there an end goal to, yeah, I want to do this so that I can have the family to raise and not have to worry about money and I can pass on these teachings? Or is it just for the sake of chasing more and chasing more? You know what I mean?
It's for the sake of having it established across the board financially, like Jews and Asians have for their family. It's not too much. I don't want it to be a chase, because I think success and money is like a squirrel to me. It's like you can't catch a squirrel. You can't run up to a squirrel and touch it or grab it. But if you sit down and you focus and you create, or you think of a way to create something that's attractive, and then you think, okay, what do squirrels like? They like nuts. Okay. They like acorns. Okay. All right, cool. Let's try a nut. So I will take this nut and position myself by a lot of squirrels. And I will be patient, and I will be still, and I will be focused. And you will see that over time that they will notice you, see you. They might not deal with you, but they'll see you. They, okay, he's over there. But then this squirrel is hungry and he's been looking for nuts all day. But he knows I'm there. So I'm sitting there patient. I'm just holding it. Once that first squirrel comes and grabs the nut, and seeing they were safe and everything was good, that will begin to vibrationally allow other squirrels to know this is what he has, to the point where I can just hold my hand out with nuts and then a whole bunch of squirrels just grab, eat. I feel like that's what success is.
That is a wonderful analogy. I mean, I think it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. So I'd encourage people to rewind this piece. Because it sounds, initially when you first started speaking, you're like, what the hell is this brother talking about? You know, squirrels and nuts and shit. What are you talking? But as you're speaking, because the first part of it was find out what they like. Right? We all know what squirrels like. But if you're thinking about success as a squirrel, well, what attracts success?
Facts.
Doing your research like you did when it comes to the roofing business and going to RoofCon and paying to be in the room and learning from all these people. So you had to first do the research.
For sure.
Then you had to position yourself in a way that brings and adds, creates value for these people and these businesses to come to you.
For sure.
Then you had to deliver. Once they see that being delivered, then they can trust it. And at that point, people always say, well, why do the rich keep getting richer? Because they deliver value and people know that they're established.
Facts.
So now you got your open hand and success is coming to you.
And you don't have to chase it.
That's right.
So that's where I am.
I love
and
that.
Sometimes it takes a little time, and sometimes you have to be a little patient. Doing what I can do, locking in, staying focused, establishing and having everything that I'm in control in, but I am presenting something that will allow this thing to move as it needs to move. So in life, I'm not too much chasing anything. I'm not chasing success. I'm not chasing to look a certain way. I'm not chasing to have whatever, this big house, these cars. I'm chasing stability, structure, and just a foundation for my family, for us to go acquire some dirt and build whatever it is that we want. If our aunties and grandmas want to live next to us, go ahead and build a house on the land. I want that access.
Yeah.
My success is coming from a place of establishing a asset that we can actually leverage as a family.
Yeah.
So
It's wonderful.
that's where I'm at.
Wonderful, man. I feel like your audience, if you were a speaker, I'm sure you are, by the way, but if you were to be on stage doing a TEDx, I think that your audience would be the kid in middle school who aspires to be an entrepreneur, or maybe doesn't know that he needs to be or she needs to be, but that person needs to listen. Then there's a 20-something-year-old who just hasn't figured it out.
Yeah.
I have a son that age who's like, what do I do? I'm not sure. And then there's a 30-year-old who might be feeling a little discouraged.
Facts.
Because they're like, man, I haven't done it yet. What am I doing? I'm already 30. And you know, when you turn 30, you feel like your life's about to be over. Oh my God, I'm so old, right? It's not until you hit, you get a little older and you realize, oh, I wish I could be 30 again.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But when you're in your 20s and you hit 30, you're like, oh my God, I'm still not rich. I'm still not successful. What's happening? My life is over, right? So if you're talking to that audience, that 10-year-old boy, 20-year-old, and even 30-something who hasn't figured it out yet, it's a wide range, but what's your advice?
I mean, my advice is always try everything, bro. Who cares? What do you think you like? What do you think you would want to do? Whatever you think you would do, instead of thinking about it, go try it. Mm-hmm. You have 10 years to fail. You have 15 years to fail. Mm-hmm. To be able to be in a position to be successful for the rest of your life. If you are sitting here looking at your current now and being discouraged, you're going to die like this. Like I explained, my blinders got took off a long time ago. So when I talk to a 50-year-old man, we can't make it seem like we didn't have men in our life telling us the same thing all over and over and over again. If I was 20 again, if I was 30 again, if I was 40 again.
We've been hearing it all our lives.
So by me always hearing it, I never adopted the concept of time, of being too late.
Right.
Because this is my perspective about my life. I am just allowing worldly thoughts to be intrusive and invasive to make me feel like I'm running out of time. Mm-hmm. And that goes for relationships, business, it goes for everything. So my advice for a 20-year-old that's just lost is just like, okay, if you're lost, what is it that you think you want to do? Oh, I think I want to blah, blah, blah. Okay, then start directing your energy towards doing that.
Yeah.
Because let's just say you do it for 2 years, bro, or 3 years. You're only going to be 23 years old and you're going to find out that you don't like it.
Yeah.
Pick something else. Let's just say you do that for 4 years, 1 year, 6 months, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But I'm here to tell you, once you get to 30, you have to make a decision. And whenever you make that decision, because this is what has happened, from the age of 15 to 30, you had 15 years to experience life.
Right. Fail many, many times.
What you like, what you kind of like, what you wish you would have came back, what you got some sex in, whatever that is. Make a decision on whatever one of those are, whatever industry that is, and say that you are willing to die before you do something else. Mm-hmm. The mindset has to be, if you don't figure this out, you are going to be a failure to your whole entire family. And this gift, you wasted it because you could not make a decision. Once you make a decision and you stand on that decision, your life experience and your work ethic, the universe and God is going to reward you and put you through a journey that he's going to make sure that that thing that you chose works, because faith without works is dead. But the main thing is you having to work. So when I speak with anybody, it's like I've read a book. It was called The Power of One. And it was basically about, one of the analogies was about Mickey Mouse. And this artist, he drew Mickey Mouse, and that's all he drew. He was just Mickey Mouse all the time. And then all of a sudden, Mickey Mouse, he put in a newspaper. And he only wrote about Mickey Mouse. And then he started writing about Minnie Mouse. But in this process, what happened is that Mickey Mouse was his thing. He maximized Mickey Mouse where he had to add Mickey and Goofy and all of these other characters as it established. But in the newspaper, it was only about Mickey Mouse. As years progressed, this Mickey Mouse character has now turned into Walt Disney. This Walt Disney has now turned into Universal Studios and all of all of this real estate that he, like, it became a multi-trillion-dollar industry. But what happened is that he started with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
People have to understand where you start is the process of where you want to get and where you want to build and where you want to project your life to be. But if he got off course and start doing something else from Mickey Mouse, he wouldn't be who he is today. So try everything for 15 years or whatever time that's going to be.
Right.
Make a decision and make that one thing, be obsessed with it.
Right.
Give everything that you have, because every leader, every entrepreneur, every athlete that we can think of who's been iconic and powerful, their base was something.
Yeah.
If it's music, if it's entertainment, if it's an iPhone, if it's PayPal, if it's Amazon, if it's whatever, it started with one thing. So I'm a huge advocate, and I've had a lot of different businesses in my life too. I've been in logistics, I've been in delivery, I've been in taxes, I've been in concerts, I've been in construction. So I've been in several verticals, and this is why I am
taking your own advice.
Taking my own advice.
Right.
You know, I'm telling you what I did. Like,
Right.
I've tried it. I tried so many different industries.
Right.
But my journey has allowed me to be this diverse, and I can pivot off so many different verticals because of my experience. But
I always remind people, these businesses, say you try something and it doesn't work, you have to remember again, it's working for someone else. So the common denominator here is you.
period.
So you still have to go back to the fact that if it's working, it's working. Whether it's insurance, whether it's roofing, whether it's whatever it is, restoration, you name it, it does work.
It works.
Right? So now, can you live through the hardship and make it work? And the second thing that you touched on also is something that I actually heard. A young lady, Emma Green, who's a multi-billion-dollar founder, she said, people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, and they underestimate what they can do in 10.
Facts.
Man, there's no stopping you.
It ain't no stopping you. And then if you add the philosophy of one, and then there was another audio, and this is one thing I know about myself. And if I showed you my Audible, I'm on a membership where I at least buy at least one credit a month.
Yeah, me
And
too. I gotta get your list.
Most definitely.
I'm interested.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll show you. And I add that to my personal development. Like, that's a part of my personal development. So for me, there's another book, and a lot of books is kind of common as, you have those popular books like it's 48 Laws of Power. You have these books.
Sure, How to Win Friends and Influence
and
People.
all that. So you have
Think and Grow Rich. Yeah.
All the
standards.
The standards.
Yeah.
And they're standards for a reason.
That's right.
And sometimes I be, my personality, I'm not a follower. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I got to get out of my way and like, man, just check this book out. So it's just like, it's another book. It's called like a 12-week work.
4-hour work week.
4-hour work week. And they have another one, but we on the same page. So
Yeah.
4-hour work week.
Yeah.
And basically what that book taught me was, when we start a business, okay, at the beginning of the year, I'm going to make $1 million this year. Mm-hmm. Energy's high. First quarter goes past, then we're in our second quarter. It was just like, okay, realistically, I've only made 50. So, all right, $500,000. That's what I'm going to make for the year.
So you readjust the contract you made with yourself.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
But this is what happens. First quarter, lit, excited. Second quarter, still lit, kind of excited. Third quarter, you're a little discouraged.
Reality check.
Fourth quarter, you compromise. I'm not going to do 500, but I'm going to do 100. And you make 100. And this is what we do. We keep readjusting. The time that we give ourselves is too much time. I stop making my goals associated to years because it's too broad. What I've learned and what I've done for myself is I've implemented that thought process, but I do it in 12 weeks. Whatever my goal is, I make it for 12 weeks. So if you implement your main focus on one thing and then you condense your time to a more tighter restraint, it allows you to have pressure applied every single day where you know for a fact, I have to put some energy towards my business today. Now that you're able to focus on one thing, let's focus on giving you time restraints. Let's focus on compounding. I had a buddy, he had a red ball, and he squeezed it and he made it disappear in front of my eyes.
Okay.
Fuck me up. I was amazed. I'm talking about amazed.
Right.
And in my mind, that's impossible.
Right.
Right? How the fuck you do that, bro?
Yeah.
How did you do that? How did you do that?
Right.
It's called pressure deprivation. It's something that's like that. Basically, you position your hands where when you squeeze the ball, it's a foamy ball. So you press it to the point where it may go between your fingers. It gives the illusion of it disappearing because he closes it and it back appear. The analogy of what I received from that is that he showed me something that I felt was impossible. But once I understood what he did, it's possible and it can be taught. So in life and in this business world, the things that we feel like it's impossible for us to do, it's not impossible. We just don't know how to do it yet. That also in this journey has allowed me to understand we honestly can do anything that we put our minds to. And if we're not getting the results that we want, it's just because we don't understand it. We have to be relentless in figuring out this information of taking our business to the next level.
Yeah.
I ran into a buddy of mine last night. He came up to me. He was like, bro, I'm just so proud of you, G. Like, you found your thing. You dig what I'm saying? Like, everybody out here trying to find they shit. Like, we all out here just trying to find our shit, and you found it.
Yeah.
And I can tell because every time I get on your Instagram, bro, you just on some roofs. You just a roofing ass motherfucker. That's what he said.
That'd be a great name for a company.
I'm telling, say it again.
Roofing ass motherfucker.
Roofing ass motherfucker. So it was like when he said that to me, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it as, man, I got so much I have to learn about this business. Mm-hmm. Insurance is changing and shifting.
Yeah.
Retail shifting and moving. The economy. I'm finding my niche in regards to this space. Mm-hmm. To maximize, the opportunity. So as long as Mother Nature is being tampered with and she's all over the place, we're going to have hailstorms. We're going to have hurricanes. No one can stop Mother Nature.
Right.
As long as the insurance companies don't go out of business and bankrupt across the board, this is an industry that we will always be able to make money from. I know how much good I can do. I can take a YN off the street and say, oh, if you don't want to sell, when they knocking these shingles off, clean up everything. All 5 of y'all, I'll pay y'all $300 a day to clean up all these shingles and throw it away. And every day I have a roof that I'm putting on.
Right.
So 300 times 5 or 6.
It's a lot more than to make anywhere else, just working minimum wage or some fast food place. So it's the good that you give back to the community also. I love your purpose because it's not totally, obviously, if we're not selfish, a term sometimes has a negative connotation, right? It's self-centered, which is a good thing because you got to take care of self first. That just makes sense.
Period.
But you do take care of other people in the process and not leaving anybody behind as long as they'll listen. So that's a beautiful mindset to have as well.
Because it's the only thing, like, I have, when my homeboy, get out of jail from laying down for 16, 17 years, they have the same mindset that we were when we was 18 years old, 17 years old. I have buddies who's just now getting out of jail. I was around when these, like, the things that I used to do, it shows me how blessed I truly am and how much favor that God has over my life. I can't waste that gift. I can't waste not showing up and doing my part for one person, two person. I'm not saying that I can sit up here and change the whole world. And Tupac said it. I might not change the world, but I will spark something in somebody to be the one to change the world. So when I bring a YN on a project, I see how excited they are with a chainsaw. I see how excited they are when I bring my Bobcat guys in and I say, watch him. And I'm like, hey, bro, let him ride it for a little bit because we're in the field. We're in the woods.
Right.
What you going to break? All right,
Hopefully a tree.
Hopefully a tree. So just pull this knob back.
Right.
Pull this down. Grab this. Put it up. It has exposed them just like that into a world that they didn't think they were interested in. So guess what? I know you got felonies, all these tattoos on your face. Nobody's going to hire you. Mm-hmm. But guess what? No one cares about who's in this Bobcat truck. Do what I asked you to do. Being able to be in these worlds and having these understanding, I can begin to start plugging in our youth to these trades that's going to be highly needed. We're getting out of it.
Correct. I was going to say, everything you just mentioned, none of it can be taken away by AI.
At all.
Not anytime soon anyway. Nope. Right? So you're creating pretty much the future.
Point blank, bro.
Yeah.
Trades are going to be the last thing that technology can take over because there's not a robot, there's not a machine that can go into a small area and put a drywall up, do some electric work, do some flooring work. There's not an AI that can put a whole roof on.
Yeah.
So The only thing that would change is
we're decades away. I mean,
we'll be gone.
Yeah. It's will it come? Sure. Initially, it'll be a super high premium because if you buy one of those robots, we were talking about $1 million per.
For sure.
Right. So companies are not going to be rolling out, opening up the checkbooks to say, well, I want to save on 6 laborers because one robot won't take a break.
Come on.
We're too far away from
that.
So yes, for a long time, trades are gonna be that's the new set of millionaires, man.
And that's the agenda that I'm on. We have all these content guys, credit, stocks, transportation, things that's always been a multi-trillion-dollar industry. But Tesla can take away logistics. Stocks can be took away with AI.
Yep.
Credit take away with AI. So now with this trade space, it's like that's what I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm in the world and I'm in the industry to teach African Americans predominantly this industry, this world, this space.
Where can we find your business? Yourself? How can we follow you? How can we support you?
So you can go to www.roofbullies.com.
Okay.
That would be the channel to connect and book appointments. My Instagram is Mr. Rocker. So it's @_Mr. Rocker. My LinkedIn, Tobiah Rocker.
Okay.
LinkedIn is more business. Instagram is just my lifestyle.
And I'll make sure that's all in the show notes as well. So if someone's listening, can just go ahead and click on that and it will take them directly to your pages.
Perfect.
Now, I do have a tradition on this particular podcast where at the end of every show, someone has to read the outro doing an impression.
Cool. Who could I impersonate? Okay, I do a Jamaican.
You do, oh my God, are you Jamaican?
No, I ain't Jamaican at all.
So you're about to do a Jamaican accent?
I'm going to try. I'm going to attempt.
Okay, let's see how good your Jamaican accent is, brother. Let's go.
Please support us by following the show. Leave us a 5-star rating on podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Well, catch you next week. We share conversations surrounding real issues, real deal with every day. Manhood matters. We're out.
Let's go.
That was right.
That was good. Most of them are pretty bad on this show, so it is what it is, brother.